For centuries, the ancient world was imagined as a place of simple tools and incomplete ideas, a distant prologue to modern brilliance, not its equal. Bronze instead of silicon, scrolls instead of screens, philosophy instead of precision. History taught us that progress was linear, slow, predictable, always moving forward, that humanity climbed step by step from ignorance to enlightenment. Then, from the dark silence of the Mediterranean Sea, a machine emerged that shattered that story completely. A device so intricate, so mathematically exact, that it would not look out of place inside a modern observatory. And it was built more than 2,000 years ago. This is the story of the Antikythera Mechanism, a machine that forces us to confront an uncomfortable possibility, that the ancient world knew far more than we ever imagined, and that much of that knowledge has been lost to time. In the spring of 1900, a group of Greek sponge divers sailed through dangerous waters near the small island of Antikythera, wedged between Crete and mainland Greece. The sea turned suddenly violent. A storm rose without warning, forcing the crew to anchor offshore and wait. With nothing else to do, the divers entered the water. They expected sponges. What they found instead rewrote history. Beneath the waves lay the scattered remains of a Roman-era shipwreck. Bronze statues lay face down in the sand. Marble limbs reached upward from the darkness. Amphorae, glassware, and fragments of a once luxurious cargo littered the seabed like relics from a forgotten world. The ship dated to around 100 BCE, a period of intense cultural exchange between Greece and Rome. Already, it was one of the most important underwater discoveries ever made. But hidden among the statues was something no one recognized at first. A small, corroded lump of bronze, unremarkable, misshapen, almost ignored. The artifacts were recovered and transported to the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. For months, conservators focused on the statues, heroic figures of gods, athletes, and mythic heroes frozen in metal. The corroded lump sat nearby, waiting. In 1902, archaeologist Valerios Stais noticed something strange embedded in the green corrosion. Teeth, perfectly spaced, uniform, mechanical. They were gears, and gears had no place in the ancient world, at least according to everything historians believed at the time. Yet there they were. As conservators began carefully removing layers of corrosion, the impossible slowly revealed itself. Inside the bronze mass was a dense system of interlocking gears, more than 30 individual components, each engineered with deliberate ratios and astonishing precision. Some gears were smaller than a modern coin. Others featured teeth so finely cut they rivaled clockwork mechanisms from the Renaissance. This was not decorative, this was not symbolic, this was machinery, and it should not exist. At first, scholars were baffled. No ancient text described anything like it. There were no surviving diagrams, no references to a mechanical device capable of such complexity. Some dismissed it as an oddity. Others suggested it must be medieval, accidentally misplaced in the wreck centuries later. But the deeper researchers looked, the worse the problem became. X-rays revealed layered gear trains hidden beneath solid bronze plates. Later, advanced CT scans exposed inscriptions carved directly into the metal, text invisible to the naked eye for more than 2 millennia. Not prayers, not poetry. Technical instructions, operational guidance. This machine was designed to be used. Slowly, its purpose came into focus. The Antikythera mechanism was built to model the cosmos itself. By turning a hand crank, the user could predict the movements of the sun, moon, and planets across the sky. It calculated lunar phases. It tracked the metonic cycle, aligning lunar months with solar years. It modeled the Saros cycle, allowing eclipses to be predicted decades in advance. Solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, planetary alignments, all rendered mechanically. This was not astrology, this was astronomy, encoded in bronze. Even more shocking was how it handled complexity. The moon does not move at a constant speed. Its orbit is elliptical, meaning it accelerates and slows as it circles Earth. Modeling this irregular motion requires advanced mathematics. The Antikythera Mechanism accounted for it perfectly. One gear assembly reproduced the moon's variable velocity with startling accuracy, a concept not formally described until Isaac Newton, nearly 2,000 years later. Whoever designed this machine understood celestial mechanics at a level history insisted did not yet exist. The front of the mechanism displayed circular dials marked with zodiac signs and calendar dates. The back featured spiral dials filled with inscriptions explaining eclipse cycles and planetary periods. Some inscriptions even included warnings, indicating when eclipses would occur, whether they would be partial or total, whether the sun would darken or the moon would vanish. Time itself was mapped, measured, turned by hand. But perhaps the most unsettling realization came next. The Antikythera Mechanism shows no signs of experimentation, no rough drafts, no errors, no failed attempts. This was not an early prototype. It was the product of a mature, confident technological tradition, which means something came before it. Earlier machines, earlier designs, lost forever. Ancient writings offer faint echoes of what may have once existed. The Roman philosopher Cicero described devices built by Archimedes, machines that modeled the movements of celestial bodies with uncanny accuracy. Others wrote of rotating celestial globes and mechanical orreries displayed in temples and royal courts. If such devices were known in antiquity, why has only one survived? Why does history remember the statues, but forget the machines? One theory suggests secrecy. Knowledge like this was power. The ability to predict eclipses could legitimize rulers, terrify populations, and anchor religious authority. Control of calendars dictated festivals, agricultural cycles, and political ceremonies. A machine that could predict the heavens might appear divine. Perhaps these devices were built only for elites, philosophers, scholars, kings, and when those elites fell, the knowledge fell with them. Another theory points to collapse, wars, fires, cultural destruction. The Roman conquest of Greece dismantled institutions that supported scientific inquiry. The burning of libraries erased centuries of accumulated knowledge. Workshops closed, craftsmen died, apprentices vanished. Technology does not always move forward. Sometimes it disappears completely. What makes the Antikythera Mechanism even more haunting is its craftsmanship. Every gear tooth was cut by hand, every ratio selected deliberately, every inscription carved by someone fluent in mathematics, astronomy, and mechanics. This was not the work of a lone genius. It required training, infrastructure, tradition, which raises a devastating question. How advanced was the ancient world before it forgot itself? Modern reconstructions have confirmed the machine works exactly as intended. Turn the crank, and centuries of celestial motion unfold in seconds. Eclipses align on schedule. Planetary cycles repeat with precision. No superstition, no myth, only engineering. And yet no ancient source names its creator. No school claims it. No lineage traces back to it. It exists alone, a technological ghost. The Antikythera Mechanism forces us to confront a hard truth. History remembers conquerors. It forgets engineers. Wars erase blueprints faster than they erase statues. Ideas vanish long before monuments crumble. Stone survives. Knowledge does not. This machine does not belong in the ancient world. It challenges the idea that ancient people were merely laying philosophical groundwork for future science. So we are left with one final question. Was the Antikythera Mechanism a singular miracle, a one-of-a-kind anomaly, or the last surviving fragment of an entire technological tradition erased by time? And if such knowledge existed once, what else has history buried? What else lies forgotten beneath sand, ash, and water? What do you think the Antikythera Mechanism truly represents? A technological fluke, or proof that the ancient world was far more advanced than we ever dared to believe.